Shannon Sharp. I'm going to say this again. I am speaking from a position of deep love for the National Football League. I love me some NFL, and I have for about 40 years covering it. I love me some Super Bowl. And this is just so wrong. It feels so bad, and it feels so utterly avoidable that I can't help but say that the worst blown call in the history of sports just somehow got worse. Just when I thought the National Football League couldn't let it get any worse, it looks even worse. And you and I both know the NFL lives for its image. Image is everything to the National Football League. And the optics here look worse than ever, given what ESPN just reported, because it further taints the Super Bowl. So ESPN quotes an officiating source as saying the NFL put itself in a bad situation. This one slipped through the cracks, and did it ever, because we've seen in the past that the NFL went way out of its way to avoid even the hint of impropriety with any of its referees. So we know the great Ed Hockley lived in Phoenix. So no Cardinals home games for him. And we know the great Mike Carey lived in San Diego. So no Chargers home games for Mike Carey. Yet here we have Gary Cavaletto. And I never heard the name of Gary Cavaletto, but I know it's ingrained in my brain now because he was the side judge who probably had the best chance to make that call. And now we find out that he lives in Santa Barbara. Big deal? Maybe, maybe not. Patrick Turner, who was the down judge, whose job it was to follow Tommy Lee Lewis all the way out of the backfield down the sideline. He could have thrown that flag. He lives in Lakewood, which isn't that far from Inglewood, where the Rams are going to have their permanent home. The back judge on that play, Todd Prokup, could have pulled his flag. He lives in Mission Viejo. And, of course, the head referee, Bill Vinovich, lives in Newport Beach. And he probably couldn't have made that call. He was just too far away from it. But there were three right in the general vicinity. And do I think any of the three actually failed to reach for his flag because he lived in Southern California? I doubt it. But then
again, you can't say that, dude. It blows it up out of the water after that point.
Okay, but then I stop and I think, wait a second. This is one of the top-rated crews in the National Football League. So how could three people who all live in Southern California miss the most blatantly obvious call in the history of a championship game to decide who gets to go to the Super Bowl? And it makes me wonder. And if I stop and wonder for 1 second, then something is really wrong here.